pump another 50 or 100 parts per million of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And so what that has done is, like many, I won't say many, but several of the scientists now that have been in the forefront of criticizing the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis are also very much involved in the global warming movement and the idea that we are now precipitating the sixth great mass extinction. Having looked now at mass extinctions and been really an obsession of mine for about 30 years now, I've looked at everything from the Cretaceous Tertiary to the Permian Triassic, you know, right on down the line to the most recent one, which to me is really in some ways the most interesting, because the most recent mass extinction that we're talking about is the one that took place while we humans were a part of the. And I mentioned this, I think, in previous broadcasts, that, you know, what you had this spasm of extreme warming followed by rapid shifting into extreme cold, literally within a matter of a few years. And we're talking about climate changes that are up to 15 degrees Fahrenheit within perhaps 1 to 5 years, which utterly dwarfs anything that we've experienced in since the Industrial Revolution began. And we still don't really understand. And that's why this research is so important, because now we understand that there was something cosmic that happened. It's left its imprint in the landscape over, what, 4 continents, 5 continents now?
Yeah, over 50 million square kilometers of the Earth's surface, just a giant debris field of there's stuff that is only produced by massive impacts. These things come in at 70,000 miles an hour. And, you know, if they have any diameter at all, if they're 100 meters or more in diameter, they are going to hit the Earth really hard. They're not going to burn up in the atmosphere. And when they do, they pack a huge amount of kinetic energy, a huge amount of heat and shock, and that creates very definite chemical products, so nanodiamonds, so carbon spherules, so melt glass, that's like the trinitite that was produced in nuclear explosions. All of these, when they're all found together in the same layer of soil, and when you can put a date on that layer of soil, and when it's all over the world, there's only one thing can explain them: a massive cosmic impact.
I don't understand why this is controversial. I really don't. I mean, I do. I understand it, because I know that once people start teaching things, and once people start doing lectures and giving speeches, they want to stick to their guns, and they want to somehow or another avoid anything that's going to contradict what they've been espousing for so long.
This is a game changer. This information, it changes everything. It changes the way we've looked at our past. It changes the whole story of archaeology, and it changes the way we're going to look at the future. And I think that people in academia are reluctant to embrace that change, and they're afraid of being called pseudoscientists, because there's a whole lobby of skeptics who use this word pseudoscientist or pseudo-archaeologist as an instant dismissal of other ideas. And those who are in the profession, they don't want to get tarred with that brush. They want to keep themselves clean and pure.
I understand that, but you're talking about hard evidence.
Yeah.
You're talking about this nuclear glass. You're talking about nanodiamonds. You're talking about core samples that show this massive shift when you do the ice core samples, massive shift in temperature. And you're talking about very clear evidence of impacts that we know exist. It's not like a comet's a theory.
No.
It's not like it's Bigfoot or something. Like, you know, like we're looking for the final piece of evidence that shows that a comet is a real thing.
Exactly.
It's real.
It's totally real, but it's so difficult for those who are invested in other models to accept. And unfortunately, they have the ear of the media. By the way, all the scientists in the Comet Research Group are absolutely mainstream scientists, and they have taken a lot of flack from their colleagues for even daring to investigate this area. That's why they've had no funding. They've had to fund themselves the way along.
That is so crazy, because this is not a controversial thing in my mind.
Should not be.